Hey everyone, welcome to Shifty's Club today. I'm going to talk about basically not really a deck, but more of a combo. As you know, the Georgia Marathons have already started somewhat, but like I said, the Georgia Marathons in my head don't start until Friday when I can actually go to them. So, I know there are plenty of people that are already really been to the marathon, so it's not really that much of a hassle. I mean, this video isn't really for the Georgia Marathon. I just like to get it in before that. So let's go ahead and get started. My idea was a combo using Serperior from Black and White and Reuniclus from Black and White. Now, most people would say 2 stage 2 Pokemon is a lot to get out for a deck that ain't really any deck in format. But if you run the right kind of deck for a situation like this, then there won't be really any problem. Now, are there any really good decks you can use with it? Well, first off, let's try one that I tried to create back when Undaunted was out. Back when Unleashed was out and Worlds was just going and Undaunted just now came out, we knew of the Black Collection and White Collection in Japan, and they had some really unique cards. One was what back then called Jalorda, which is obviously Serperior now. Another one being Reuniclus, which is Reuniclus. And these are Japanese translations from English, so it more of a fits, if you know what I mean. It's basically how to pronounce them in Japanese. So what does this combo really do? Well, first off, you have one Reuniclus, maybe two, and more or not a large number Serperior. Now, Serperiors need either the Servine along with the Snivy or Snivy to Rare Candy. Now, I would suggest using 4 Rare Candy and 4 Junk Arm to get the Rare Candy back, because this way it's just a lot easier. And if you have more things like Dual Ball, Pokeball, Communication, even Great Ball, if you have a Great Ball and then a Communication, you can easily get the Pokemon back, and maybe Junk Arm for Communication, anything you really need to do. So, thank God that this deck, no matter what, will usually have 4 Arcanine, 4 Junk Arm, and a bunch of Communication and Pokemon Search. And to go with that, we'll just say this. With the 1 Reuniclus, we can move around damage counters however we want on our side of the field. And when it comes to Serperior, between turns, we remove 1 damage counter from each of our Pokemon, but this ability stacks, thank God. So if you had 2, 3 Serperior, you're removing 2 damage counters from each Pokemon between turns. Most decks would use 2, maybe 1, so you'd have 2 on the bench with a Reuniclus, and then your attackers, obviously. So, how really does this combo work? Well, imagine getting hit by Reshiram for 120, right? Spread that to 6 benched Pokemon with 20 on each. With 1 or 2 Serperior and a Reuniclus, you're spreading the damage to 20. And then at the end of your turn, between turns, all the damage is gone because you took 20 off of each Pokemon. Now, say Kyurem is what your opponent's using. Kyurem hates to see Serperior in its midst. Why? Basically because you're spread healing, and this is about really the best counter to it. Now, there's only one problem with Serperior, and that's the Lunatone Solrock combo really hurts it. Even though it's not that popular, I have seen a few Kyurem Cobalion Electrode Audino combos, or as the Pokemon community knows it as Cake deck, have struggled a little against the Serperior combo, and it's just Kyurem in general, because obviously spreading 30 around is great to pile on 210 damage all at once. But when you can heal, or sorry, 100, well, 180 or more, but when you can heal that 180 right off, that's where you make the difference at. And that's why Serperior really hates the deck, or that really hates Serperior. Along with the Reuniclus combined, you can move damage that's done solely to certain Pokemon and move them around to even it out. Now, because there are two stage 2s, you're going to really have to move as far as getting all the cards you need out, and that's where I found pretty good strategy to this. All of y'all have heard of Ninetales. Really good, draws pretty great. Discard 1 fire, draw 3 cards. That's actually pretty good acceleration. Now, imagine something like that inside of Serperior Reuniclus combo. Now, obviously, you would use either 3-2-3, 2-1-2, something like that, or maybe even 3-1-3 if you wanted to, and a Reuniclus of 2-1-2, 2-0-2, 2-2-2 if you were really specific, or a 1-0-1, 1-1-1, whatever you feel is most necessary. But in my terms, I would say that more over than not, I would use, say, Ninetales to do drawing, which is pretty good. But again, when you're in that kind of combo, you want to get those energy back out and doing something, or just doing something altogether. Now, because you're getting rid of your energy and you're drawing, you need some way of attacking, and that's what I thought. What about Yemega and Selgor? They're both really good grass types. As Selgor is weak to fire, Yemega is weak to lightning. So they're two different courses to take. Of course, if you use Yemega and attack with Serperior as a bound side, or if you want, you can use the other Reuniclus from the Noble Victories, and along with the Reuniclus you already have on the bench, to do 120, 160 damage consistently, and most of the time you'll be doing 80 straight up on turn 2, turn 3, which is pretty good. And I really think, given the right combo, the deck actually does pretty good. And most often than not, I bet that kind of synergy would really overlaps, because when you're talking about a combo such as Serperior Reuniclus, more often than not you'd want that Reuniclus from Noble Victories to be attacking at the same time. So you'd probably run 2 of each, 2 of the attack ones, 2 of the damage swap ones. But remember, 9 HP is not a lot to work with, and that's why we could use something with a lot more HP. When EX comes out, that's when this deck starts to modify itself, starts to get everything in order, starts to basically say, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep cycling everything out. You are not going to be able to hit me if you cannot take me early. And that's what I like most about the deck. The only thing that really hurts it is catcher. And that's why this leads me to this next statement. When I was using this combo, back when it was just Japanese, I ran a combo Gothruzel Reuniclus, and now it's Gothitelle Reuniclus. And what I did is I thought, well, because Mismagius, Unknown Q, and the little combo, you know, with Reuniclus and do all that, you can basically attach it, take it off with Mismagius, throw it back down, put 2 damage counters on it, use its ability. You take all the damage counters off like that. Now, given that exact statement, because Unknown Q was the only one that could do it back then when we had the MD-on format, I really liked it that one way. Thought it'd never happen. Of course, none of us ever did. But I will give you this. What we have now is probably the best thing ever. We have a Serperior and a Reuniclus that work hand in hand really well. If you could find the perfect partner to attack with it, such as Gothitelle, to trainer lock your opponent, not you, but your opponent. That's 3 stage 2s, but it can be done. You just have to find the right combo. Of course, I know there's plenty of cards out there like Levani or something like that. You have the Electrode and Twins. So you take Electrode, knock yourself out, put yourself down a prize, take all the energy on the top 7 cards of the deck and attach it and discard the others. Then throw a twins down, rare candy, Gathtal, something like that. Could work. And while your opponent's trainer locked, they can't really do anything. And that's why when you trainer lock them, you get the ability to set up while you're dishing out your damage. But of course, like always, every deck always has its downsides. You can easily acknowledge them as well as I can. And even more, I can acknowledge its rogue matchups better because why? Well, I test everything. And that's basically where it comes to when it comes to me, is I like to test everything. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know it's during the marathon. Like I said, during the marathon I will have videos. I will keep you guys informed with plenty of good deck lists and deck ideas, stuff to get around with. And this is a pretty good idea for right now, before we get into where you have the EX during the next Destiny's Black and White set. So, as always, see you next time at Shifty's Club.